Now Rav Elchanan Wasserman says, as funny or strange as all of this sounds, if we are indeed in the time of Mashiach, this is not going to go away. Because the clear difference between the rest of the exile we've had for the last 2,000 years and the last chapter of it, Rav Elchanan Wasserman says, is that there will not be a break. It will be one disaster after another. A coronavirus, perhaps something else, chas v'shalom, or something, financial crisis. Long story short, a nightmare. A nightmare. Now, he uses a Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin, page 57, that says that the suffering will not halt and will flow like a river. And then he continues by saying, apart from this, they will grow worse from day to day. And his proof comes from last week's Parashat Ki Tavo. Last week's Parashat Ki Tavo is the parasha of the rebuke that Moshe Rabbeinu wrote to us before he died, telling us that if we go against Hashem, this is what will happen. He tells us all of these curses, all of these horrific things, all of which happened during the Holocaust, all of which happened several times actually throughout history, including the worst one, in my opinion, which is that mothers will eat their own kids from starvation. This happened in the Holocaust. This happened during the many other tragedies we had among Am Yisrael. But then Rav Elchanan Wasserman says there's a verse in Parashat Ki Tavo, chapter 28, verse 67. Says, "Baboker tomar mi yiten erev, u'ba'erev tomar mi yiten boker." In the morning you will say, who can give back last night? In the evening you will say, who can give back this morning? Meaning that the nightmare is going to be so awful that in the morning you're going to say, I can't believe we're leaving this. Yesterday was so much, even though it was bad yesterday, it was better than today. That same day you got to the night. Now you obviously, the morning was horrible. Why? Because you wished for yesterday's tragedy. That same day, Hashem Yishmor, a person gets to that night, he's going to wish for the morning's tragedies. Rav Elchanan Wasserman says this is what's going to be. Now don't worry, we're not only full of bad news. There is good news. There is fantastic news. We'll get to in a moment. Rav Dessler, Alav Shalom, writes, he was the Menael Ruchani in Yeshivat Ponovich, a very famous sefer called Michtav Me'Eliyahu, and he quotes Rav Elchanan Wasserman in one of his ma'amarim that is called Ya'asok b'Torah u'b'gemilut chasadim. Deal with Torah, toil in Torah, and be involved with a overwhelming kindness, chesed. He says that Rav Elchanan Wasserman brings this particular book, and he says that the times before Mashiach is going to be like birth pangs, that the tragedies and difficulties will flow like a river. And the Rav Miponovich, he writes, the Brisker Rav, once told a story that he witnessed firsthand, where someone came to the Chafetz Chaim and asked the Chafetz Chaim, what do we do about the tragedies we have at the time of the Chafetz Chaim, which was World War I? What do we do? There was anti-Semitism, not quite like World War II, but still, there was a lot of problems then. What should a person do in order to be saved from the birth pangs of Mashiach? And the Chafetz Chaim cried out and said to them, what do you mean? What should he do? Isn't it clear Isn't it clear what Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol, Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkonos, the rabbi of Rabbi Akiva, said in the Gemara Masechet Sanhedrin what to do? Isn't it clear what it is? He said, toil in Torah and do overwhelming kindness. That's what he said. Do you know what that means? The Chafetz Chaim said. And the Brisker Rav witnessed this whole thing. He says, do you know what that means? That means that if you brought all of the Rishonim, all of the biggest sages we had in the last 900 years, all of the Geonim, all the ones that we had 1,000 years ago, a little over 1,000 years ago, all of the Amoraim, time of the Gemara, 1,600 years ago, Abaye, Rava, all of the Tanaim, Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes, all of them, and you sat them all down in a room, not a single one of them will give you an answer that contradicts Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkonos. All of them would agree. Rabbi Eliezer, he said the only way to be saved at the time of Mashiach is to toil in Torah and to do chesed. That's it. That's the halacha. It's in this world halacha. It's in Shamayim halacha. No one will ever say a different thing. There is no machloket here. And they think that Israel Meir, which was the Chafetz Chaim's name, can say something different? They want Israel Meir to say something different? Rabbi Akiva wouldn't say something different. If Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkonos said it, surely that's what it is. And the reason why Rav Dessler explains that Torah is not enough. Like if you're a Talmid Chacham, you're in yeshiva, you're in a kollel, you're learning, it's not enough to save you. Why? Because at the time of judgment, when there's a decree on the world, HaKadosh Baruch Hu judges the world measure for everyone. If there's a horrific decree in the world, it's measure for everyone. The good and the bad. So Torah in itself, Rav Dessler says, is not enough. Usually Torah is everything. But at the time of a decree, it's not. It's not enough to save a person. You need something to help you. You get special kindness from HaShem to be treated differently from everybody else. Why? Because surely there are the tzaddikim. There are the good people that learn Torah. But you want to be different from everybody else. You want to be saved. You want to be unique. You want to be put in some type of spiritual bunker where there could be Scud missiles shot at you, but they're missing you by miles because you are different. You want something different. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says you have to be different. Why? There's a decree in the world. Yeah, but I learned Torah. Okay, there's a lot of other people who learn Torah. So Rav Dessler explains, he says, that's where the chesed comes. Because it's measure for measure. When you do chesed for other people, by helping other people do tshuva, by helping other people get closer to Hashem, first and foremost, you become a partner with the Creator Himself. You become a partner with the Creator Himself. Second of all, you do something that's beyond your normal nature. It's not normal for you to go spend an X amount of your money, or X amount of your time, X amount of your energy to go help a bunch of strangers. It's not a normal thing. Yeah, maybe you like to do it when you get time, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about you're doing it regularly. Every month, you're giving a certain amount of yourself. Every month, no questions asked. Good times, good economy, bad economy, lot of money, lot of time, little time, marriage problems, no problem, don't make a difference. This is part of me. Just like breathing is part of me, just like eating is part of me, helping people do tshuva, that's part of me. When you do something like that, that's not a natural thing. It doesn't come to you naturally. So you acted beyond your nature. The measure for measure, reward for that, Rav Dessler says, is for you to be treated differently, in a supernatural way. That's why Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkonos said, if you want to be saved at the time of Mashiach, it has to be Torah and Gemilut Chasadim, not just one or the other. Because just chesed by itself is not enough. Just Torah by itself is not enough. Why? Because you want something unique in a very unique time. So here we see that despite the horrors that tell us that during the time of Mashiach, the agony and the pain in the world will not end, at the same time, we have a beautiful chidush from Elchanan Wasserman, what's elaborated by Rav Dessler. That, yes, that is what's going to happen, but for everyone, except maybe you. For everyone in the world, except maybe you. Why except maybe you? Because you just learned, take it out. Why maybe? Whether you choose it or not. Whether you elect it or not.
B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh v'Natzliach, we're very excited to offer you the new Bezrat Hashem app 3.0. It's a newer, faster app full of Torah, lots of Kedusha by the shiurim that we do, myself, Rav Ephraim, Rav Chaim, where you'll have also newer features where you're able to use the app while you're using other applications on your phone. You'll be able to share the lectures directly from the app. You'll be able to donate online and support our Kiruv and our Torah work that we're doing. And the most exciting feature is that you'll be able to actually ask questions directly on the app and get answers from the rabbis directly from the app. This is something unprecedented, and Baruch Hashem will be able to offer it. Thank you again for all of your support. Check it out. Make sure you have the kosher Torah that will re-energize your neshama each and every single day. Call to B'chava Tzlacha.